Let me tell
Don't
you something.
stop.
Okay.
Can't
Yes.
stop, won't stop.
There you go. Thank you for the good energy. I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. So start from the beginning. Um, I am so excited to have Wavyy Jonez with me tonight. And really quickly, we were disrupted on Instagram, but we're going to start from the top. You know, a lot of you guys probably heard Wavyy and literally found things he was speaking. And I just really want to take it straight from the top with Wavyy going into the first question I asked was, how are you impacted by the everything that's happening in America against us as a people?
Um, I feel in this climate, it's time to band together and not use this time as it's a fad. I believe that it's way more important. Um, as a black man, I love saying that, as a black man in America, um, we are constantly at war with racism. We're at war every day we step outside of our house, you know? So
Yeah.
um, I definitely feel in this climate, I can't say scared because I feel like I'm ready to go to war at any time with anybody about anything because I'm going to stand on being who I am at the end of the day. Um, and that's just really how I feel as a black brother in today's society.
Mhm.
In this climate, it's a shame what's going on with us as far as George Floyd and and Ahmaud Arbery. But as Will Smith once said, he said racism is not. I'm paraphrasing, but he said
Mhm.
racism is nothing new, but it's just now being filmed. You know,
Right. Yeah,
so
that's true.
people are just now coming to the realization that we're dealing with something serious. And on top of that, we're fighting an invisible enemy known as COVID-19.
Right. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely feel all type of ways. It's very unfortunate that we have to live in these predicaments, but I feel like it's time for the conversation to be had. Like I said before, we're black, we're bold, and we're tired, and it's coming to the forefront now.
Amen. Facts. Facts. That is so true. Um, we were talking about just another thing that I actually don't know if you recall saying you were talking about. I was saying how you're not clout chasing, like you're passionate about this subject. Even your Instagram is. I don't know if you have your Instagram picture with the same picture. It's like a Black Power movement photo, but I know it's
Yeah.
on Twitter. Your passion and your stories, the music that you're putting up, the song, like you said, the Devil's Pie. So you're really, really, really about this life. And so I wanted you to like speak on just the depths of how you also been. Oh, this is a good question. I wanted to ask you this on your Instagram story. You spoke about you dealt with. I don't know if you've told any stories, but you dealt with um, the law enforcement before, like some things have happened with you. And you didn't really go into it, at least from what I heard. And I wanted to know, would you be open to speaking about your experience with law enforcement and how you were treated?
Um, Basically, what happened was I was down the street from my brother. Uh, Me and my brother had lived in the same home at the time. I had to be like 16. My brother had graduated, and I don't know. I just peeked outside and I seen a bunch of cars down the street of his friend's house, but it was a bunch of cop cars. So me being a concerned little brother, like I want to know what's going on. Like my brother, we didn't have phones at the time, so I wanted to know what
Yeah.
was going on. So I start
Mm-hmm.
walking. I start like running down the street, and there was a lot of commotion, a lot going on. And I start running down the street to see if what was going on or whatever. And this cop took me. Like I had sweatpants on, so I was pulling my pants up. Cop took me. He snatched my arm. He threw it to the back. Almost broke my damn arm, and just got real rough. And they threw me to the ground. Had me on the ground and was patting me down, asking me what I have, and stuff like that. And my brother was getting real aggressive. Like I said, I'm his little brother. So he was
Yeah.
getting real aggressive. He's like, yo, get off my brother. And it was like the more he said, they just kept getting more aggressive, and just handling me in a real uncalled for way. And that was my first hand dealing with the
Wow.
police at that type of what's it called. But that's only one experience. I've dealt with it so many different. Um, I've had so
Wow.
many different run-ins, and I'm grateful I've never actually been in jail, but just having to deal with them, things going on around me, and me not being involved and still being talked to crazy and handled brutally by the police. It's something that happens in everyday climate still with our young black brothers. Not to excuse what's happening in the other communities, but what I'm
Mm-hmm.
bringing light to is racism, and I'm
Right.
bringing light to police that feel that their job goes to the head because the dude that did it to me was a brother. So
Wow.
we can't try to put it off like it's just the white people doing it. It's the white people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the dude that did it was a brother. There's certain, it make me feel like they weren't too cool in school. Now they got this little badge and they feel like they're invincible, and that's not the case. So um like I said before, we got to start at the root of these problems. We have to
Right.
there needs to be a conversation needs to be had. More conversations need to be had. That's why I'm excited what the future is to hold for the 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 defunding the police and all these other things that's been brought up in these past couple of days since the George Floyd and these different situations that's occurring right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, not ask you, but I wanted you to repeat that. So you were 16 when you said you were running down the street and the cop just, I mean, you're a child at that
Yeah,
point. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that just has to, I mean, that alone has to be a traumatic experience, right?
It definitely was. It definitely was. I seen something today about this 9-year old. He was out and he was playing basketball. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It was on Shade Room. He was playing basketball and he seen the cop and he hid behind the he just seen the cop coming down the street and he hid behind his father's car.
Wow.
That happened to my 4-year-old nephew. My 4-year-old nephew did the craziest thing. Um,
Oh,
he was just playing one day, and this is after this whole George Floyd thing. These kids are seeing way more than we think they're seeing. They see everything. It doesn't matter what age. And my nephew jumped. He seen a cop just coming down the street, and he hopped behind a tree. I was like, "Why you hiding? What's wrong with you?"
it's putting fear into kids, just the image of a police officer.
Yeah,
And you're 4-year-old. You're 4-year-old. And I actually saw your story today and I seen the baby. So, and in my heart, like I was telling everyone, they know I love children. And so a 4-year-old sees an image of a police and he hides your nephew as well.
yeah.
Wow.
He hid right
That's,
behind a tree.
wow.
He hid behind a
Wow.
tree, and this is what's going on with um in our community. Unfortunately, I keep saying
Unfortunately,
unfortunately because it shouldn't be this way.
it's not. Right.
Our children should know these people, these figures. I don't know about you, but when I was young, I remember having things to where we were asked, what do we want to be when we grow up? You know? And I remember hearing a lot of kids jump out and say, I want to be a fireman. I want to be this. I want to be a cop. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that these people that we look at as heroes, we're now
Right.
looking at as the enemy, but they made it that way. Not
They
every
made it that.
cop is a good cop, and not every cop is a bad cop.
Right. So true. So
You know what
true.
I'm saying? So
Right.
it's very it really sucks that our children are living in fear and that our people are living in fear of the police when they're supposed to protect and serve us.
Right. That's exactly what I was gonna say while you were speaking. Like that the baby, just the thought the children are walking around afraid of cops, haven't done anything wrong, but they go into a place of fear and panic. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
that alone, like spoke about the ancestors in the last video, how you know, in your song, you spoke about how they had went through these certain things, but even in our times, it's placing fear in children. You see what I'm saying? And if we don't do something about it, it's gonna get even worse. You know what I mean? Because some
Right.
people can probably start going into PTS, what is it, post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah.
from just, I mean, just what it can do to people alone. Even your experience, like I'm sure. Now, did that give you any issues growing up, like because you had that experience?
You know, I feel as if it made me who I am, and it grew a hate for the police that I shouldn't have.
Oh wow,
You
okay.
know, it definitely it instilled the hate for the police, and especially it being a brother. Like a lot of people, they go to these cops and they're like, "Oh man, you supposed to be a brother. You supposed to feel my pain, you know, of the oppressor and all of this." And unfortunately, it's our people. A lot of times, it's our people where this thing goes to their head because they feel that we're a threat. Somehow we're a
Right.
threat. We're a threat to them, and it's not.
Mm,
That's not always the case. You know,
right.
I see a lot of videos. Now let me get this. Let me say this, right?
Okay.
I see a lot of videos, and I see people handling situations wrong, right? And I'm talking about our people. Then we have the person on the side filming it, like, oh, he didn't do nothing. What I say, right? Know your rights, but at the same time, just listen. Listen and cooperate. Listen and
Mhm.
cooperate, because that's
Mhm.
what our people told us. That like growing up, my mom told us, "Yo, cooperate. If you ask the question, just answer it." You know, because that's how a lot of problems happen in our neighborhood. We don't listen. We don't listen. We're quick to jump
Mhm.
to something. So when
Mhm.
we see something, when we're put in these situations in our neighborhoods or wherever we are, and we're being asked something, now it just sucks that a lot of these people are assholes and we feel disrespected, you know. But there's
Mhm.
there's a time when when we just need to cooperate, see what the outcome may be. So I tested it, right? I
Mhm.
tested it a few times and it just came out. But I remember times me getting abrupt with police, like saying some crazy stuff. It's just how I felt. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was young, I was who I was, but I also remember a time um a cop came to my window and he was being a complete asshole, talking to me
Mhm.
crazy. And I sat there and everything he asked me, I ignored the little stupid stuff he was saying. Everything he asked me, I cooperated. I said what I said. I told him he had license registration, whatever it may have been. And I sat there and I just cooperated. He gave me whatever, my warning. You know what I'm saying? Gave me my warning, sent me on my way. And he was an asshole. It seemed like he wanted me to be aggressive towards him. I'm a big dude automatically. Like I walk outside, people, certain people see me, they may start locking their doors. I don't mean them no harm, but some people start locking their doors when they see me. They don't know my attempt. They automatically, oh, he's a big black dude. We don't know what kind of energy he's coming with. So
Right.
but that's what he did. He sat there. He was an asshole. He tried to make me aggressive, and I just sat there and I just looked at
Mm.
him. Are we done, officer? He got
And
mad. He went in his car. He gave me my little warning ticket and sent me on my way. There comes a time when it's time to fight, and there comes a time just
right.
cooperate. See what happens.
Right.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
you
So
know,
I will say that.
right. And you know, I'm not being biased with me knowing you, the fact that people would look at you like that when you're like the one of the like best human beings ever, just your spirit and your energy. And the fact that somebody could just judge you based off of like your, because all you're talking about is the complexion and then your stature. And so that to me is just, I mean, even that needs to stop. Though we need to quit looking at people like they're a threat just based off of their complexion, or their size, or even for you guys as men, it's the gender. Like men come off as a threat, black men to, you know, unfortunately, certain different nationalities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that in itself, that's just, I mean, I just think that needs to be a change because my brother is actually the same complexion as you are. And so he experiences that. And my brother is probably darker than you are. And so my brother would, yes, and he's my real brother. And we always talk about that, you know, like he'll be like, well, you never experienced that. And I haven't experienced it, but he did. So, you know, for me, it's also personal as well, just this conversation, because that whole thing, it does need to stop. Like you, like I said, you have a good heart. I know my brother, he has a good heart. And so the fact that you even went through that as a child, you had good intentions, you were looking for your brother, whatever the case was, and that, and it's other people that are going through that, and unfortunately, you got away easy. Some people now, they're getting killed for doing the same exact thing as you were doing and being accused. I wanted to see, because this is a different conversation, if you minded when I brought in the conversation about your film, See You Yesterday, and you spoke about exactly the same issues that you guys even hit on that we're, affected by. That same thing, like in the movie, the girl, her brother, you talked about the story, the way you spoke about it, I can't speak about it, even though I saw it. Could you speak about that too, just because that was in?
See You Yesterday is a beautiful film that's on Netflix right now, and directed by Stefan Bristol, produced by Mr. Spike Lee. A beautiful film about a girl who goes back in the past to free her brother, to save her brother from police brutality and getting killed. So basically, in the film, these guys were robbing the the corner store. They robbed the corner store. Cops went down the block. They seen two other black dudes, and automatically, because they're black, they fit the description, which happens every day. Happens every day in America, as it is. They unfortunately fit the description just because they were black. They were then
Right.
harassed, asked for their license, asked for their IDs, and all of that. And basically, the situation trickled down and ended up bad to where um, the brother ended up getting killed.
Right.
Just for being, just for being who we are, being a
Mhm.
black man. It sucked that we automatically fit the description because we two black dudes walking and two black dudes robbed the store.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah. So See You Yesterday was a beautiful film. I would encourage anybody watching this to go over to Netflix now and watch that, because that's a story that like we said happens every day in our
Right.
society. Yeah.
And not to mention, it's a really, really, really good film. So my first time seeing the film was last year. I think it was probably, was it this time last year? Was it out on that? I think it was around this. Yes, it was. It was around June. It was June, because I remember now. I remember being at my house in June, and I watched it like 3 times. And
Yeah.
then I watched it, and I mean, really, really great film. Another thing I just thought about, Wavyy, was in the film, you pulled out your cell phone in one of the parts,
Start
and you're like,
recording.
I got my phone record. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they just, yeah, and it was so natural. Even your portrayal to me, like every time you do something, though, I'm gonna bring this up too. You're very natural in front of the camera, just very natural. Like even the way you said, I'm recording. You don't come across contrived when you are in front of the camera, which is so good. And you were really, for the most part, seeming like yourself with this going on. Even when the cops arrested you and they had you down on the ground, that was just insane, because it happens just like that.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you about that scene.
Okay.
Um, that scene when a dude snatched me and put me on the ground and was handcuffed. First of all, let me just say, the damn ground was so hot. Like they couldn't do nothing about that. They couldn't save me from that. The ground was burning. We in the middle of Brooklyn. The sun is beaming on the ground. There's no trees. It's like there's buildings, but this building's not protecting this area, and the ground was on fire. So my face is to the ground, and
Yes.
in my heart, like my heart is like to the ground. So I can't really breathe.
Really.
Yeah, I couldn't
Oh.
really breathe, and I wanted to be natural as possible. I wanted to be natural. And in that scene, looking over that Astro was the guy that had got shot. That got shot in that scene. When I seen those bullets, when I seen all that happen, and when he fell to the ground, something came over me that was so emotional, and I couldn't fight it. It was like it really happened, you know.
Yeah.
And just
That's how
thinking about everything that's happened to our people in these times, it's like I'm an actor, but I'm not an actor. You know, like I'm a
Right.
real dude, and I go through real things on real time. So
Mhm.
when I seen them bullets, when I seen that happen, and when that brother hit the ground, like I wanted to cry. It was like it's like I'm sick of this shit happening. I'm sick of it. So it did make that scene a lot more natural than
Yes.
I expected. Unfortunately, it was real when they did the final cut. It wasn't really what it was to me at that time. But yeah, it was a very emotional scene just sitting there watching that. And when you tired of something, I mean, I feel like that's your best time portraying. And that's why I really gravitate to films like that. Like those are the stories I want to tell. Um,
Yeah.
I want to tell those stories more, and I want to tell what happens in our neighborhoods more because I feel there's a huge disconnect, even in Hollywood. Like I was saying on the last,
Yes.
we was doing the
Go
last,
into that.
yeah, when we was doing the last thing on
Right.
IG about
Mhm.
how 50 Cent brought up that that he had to put the dude that played the white dude. What's the white dude's name in Power?
Oh, that
Tommy.
I don't.
Tommy, I believe. The brother's name was
Okay.
Tommy, and he said he had to put him on the cover because that's how it was sell to certain people. Because people are not looking for. It's like they don't accept black stories. This is black stories. There ain't no white dude. We sending that to the urban. That has to go to all the urban theaters or just the theaters that accept that. I don't see that when The Rock does a film. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
don't I
Yeah.
don't see that. It's sent to every theater. It's sent to every theater.
Mhm.
But
Right.
unfortunately, because we're black and racism is still a major thing in our society, we are forced to go down to the urban. Everything is urban, even if it's not. If it's something, if it's a conversation that needs to be had amongst the masses, it's still considered urban, and it's ridiculous. But racism is still very much alive, and
Yes.
I
Speak
feel
on
that
it.
that yeah, I feel that speaks to everything. Like I said, I watch new white dudes come these um into these roles, new white dudes, like the Spider-Man dude, the young
Mhm.
Spider-Man dude. He was new to the role, and he
Mhm.
captured the whole audience because you know what I'm saying. It is what it is, and I'm not being racist when I say this because I love
Right.
people of all kinds. But
Right. Yeah.
when you throw a brother in the same situation, it doesn't end up the same way. It's like the network is scared they're gonna lose money because um, yeah, that's a black dude and people don't know him. You have to be a known black dude in order to be the star of this show type thing, and it's ridiculous. It's what we deal with every day.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
so true. It is. It is very much so ridiculous. Um, you also spoke about in the last video about how I was saying, it's so good that we have these platforms and we're able to speak what we feel. However, you elaborated that, okay, you can speak, speak what you feel, be free to speak what you feel, but there's a consequence in the industry. We spoke about how people are being blackballed easily from speaking, like even now, it's certain things that, you know, um, you're doing the interview, but obviously, if you say the wrong thing I mean, it doesn't even have to be you, right? It could be just a black person. They say the wrong thing. They are at a place where they could get canceled,
Yeah,
right? And the end,
cancel.
Hollywood,
Yeah.
yeah. And could you talk about that when you broke that down? You really went deep with that.
Okay. Well, we could talk about that. We could talk about Monique. We could talk about just whenever a dialogue is being had. If we go back to the comedians back in the day when they said
Mhm.
something, they wasn't drilled. You know what I'm saying? Now it's in the era of social media and everybody is pulling up old tweets and stuff like that and trying to sabotage. It's like they don't respect growth. They
Right.
don't respect growth. They try to go back to the past and if that's how he felt then, he feels that way now. I felt bad when that Kevin Hart thing happened. I really did. I felt
Right.
bad about that because I feel like, come on, man, like the man is grown. He's doing different things now. He's in a different space. I feel I grow every day. So something I
Right.
say today, I may feel a different way about it tomorrow, and we don't take that into into accountability when we talk about these things. Um,
Right.
but it's not only black people because I know Roseanne had said something and her whole show got canceled. If you remember
I,
that,
yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that
Right.
was
It's
last year,
uh
and
huh.
and she had to deal with that because she mentioned something. I guess it was on a side of racism. It was something racist. I'm not sure, but
Yes, yeah,
me, I love people in their truest form. I love people in their truest form. If you feel some way, don't hide it. Don't hide it because you're scared that it's gonna mess up the bag or you're gonna be deemed hard to work with. And then, like, if you feel that way, speak on it because there are
yeah,
people out there that feel the same way you feel about something,
right. So
and
true.
it's like they have to be silenced because they watch you get silenced. So if Roseanne
Exactly.
did feel that way, first of all, something about racism, I may be a little ignorant about it because I laugh every time I see one of these people say something crazy to black people or something like if they're doing something in the park, if they're lighting up a cigarette in the park or something. It's funny to sit and watch racism because it's like they are so damn ignorant. It's the most
Yes.
ignorant shit ever to judge somebody by the color of their skin and to
Right.
feel a certain way about somebody
I
because
know.
of the color of their skin.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
so funny. I was thinking about that. I was laying down one night to go to bed, and I really just allowed myself to just, I don't know if you do this, but like one night I just really allowed myself to really think about and feel what we're going through, right? And just really
Yeah.
feel the things we're going through are just because of, I mean, we're all human beings, right? I was like, even at a time, I don't know if you know, like you do know, where they call some African Americans monkeys. And I was like, human beings, I can see if we actually were different. I see why they would be, and look, I love animals,
Yeah.
but you don't treat people like animals, right? Based on the
Right.
color of this. We're all human beings, whether you're lighter, darker, blacker, and not even, another thing I want to say about our people, and it's not, like you said, not racist, because you got to put that out there. I'm not being racist, but we are some of the most beautiful people. Like,
We are
the darker complexion, like the most beautiful people ever.
beautiful. Beautiful.
And so it's just crazy that, you know, people of color, because our skin is darker, you have to worry about, being discriminated against and racism and being divided and all of these different things just from the color of our skin. And you said that it's the dumbest thing you can think of. Now that's the dumbest thing, right?
It
You just
really
have to.
is. It's stupid. It's like it's just stupid to me, you know. And to see somebody go so hard, like you nigger, like you want to hurt me that bad that you're using this word, you
Right,
nigger, you monkey, you poor, like that don't scare me, dog. Throw them hands. You know what I'm saying? Like throw your hands.
right,
Let's get into it for real. If that's what you really want to do, let's just get into it for real. Let's stop using our
right.
words if that's the case. And it's just so ignorant. I was watching um, this lady, Korean woman, I'm believing. She was working out on her steps. She was somewhere in Harlem or something like that. She's working out on her steps. It was an apartment building, and this lady comes out, and she's mad because she's working. This white lady comes out. She's just mad because she's working out on the steps, and
Mhm.
she goes in and saying, "You need to go back to where you came from. We don't want you here." No, it was in Cali. She said, "We don't want you here. Go back to your home." And all of it. And I was laughing because I'm like, this lady is so ignorant. Like she's doing all of this, and this woman is paying her no mind. She just kept working out. It's like that don't hurt me. That don't hurt me. You got to come better than that. You gotta come
Right,
better than that because, like I said, I'm a black man in America that go through real things on real time. So when
right.
you try to throw your words at me, you gotta come harder than that.
Yeah, yeah. So and see, it's personal for you because you also experience.
Yeah,
You know
I'm
what I
living
mean?
in it
So,
every day. I'm living in
yeah.
it. Like my mom, like if she know I'm out somewhere, she'll text me, "Are you okay?" And that's something that black women have to deal with on a day to day.
Yes,
Black women
dude.
text, yeah. It's
Remember,
if you're in a relationship or if you have a mom or aunt, somebody is calling or texting to check on you because they know that you are considered a threat because of the color of your skin, and anything can happen at any time.
yes, and remember, I was telling you, my brother, he has a darker skin, so I literally send him text messages. TJ, are you okay? Are you okay?
Hmm.
Just even before this had broke out, because he's
Hmm.
had incidents. Cops pull him over because it's his tinted windows and stuff like that. Like the situations are just so dumb. And then
Hmm.
when you have the darker skin, it puts you at risk that you may not come back home. Who knows?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, let's
it's
look at it. I mean, Trayvon Martin didn't come home. Eric Garner didn't come home. Ahmaud Arbery didn't come home. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we deal with. That's what we deal with. So I posted something the other day talking about how we need to put respect on the name of our black queens because they suffer every day because of us, because they know us being black men. We're at war. We're at war, and we don't even mean to be. So, you know what
yes,
I'm saying?
at war. Isn't that crazy? And so I do think, like you said, we need to fight. Like, remember, you had something so good. You spoke about how we need to put basically a plan in action. On your Instagram story, that was some of the most profound things you said. We don't need to just be out here. Okay, protesting. You talked about that. Like, that's good, right? We can protest, but don't let's stop burning down. You said stop burning down your cities, and I felt the same way. You spoke about that. You said we need to do more than that. We need to really put a plan in action. Can you speak on that? What the plan and how you really dug deep?
Yeah. What I had said at that time was we need to go to the town hall. We need to talk to the people. We need to start talking to tastemakers within the government. You know, we need to have our voice. We need to be as much in these meetings. One thing in our community, we fail to gather together. We fail to come together on a lot of instances. And
Yes.
when it comes to these town hall meetings, if we really feel so powerful about these ways and the things that's happening, we need to start going where these people are. We need to be in their
Yes.
face. We need to hear what's being said. Or things are just gonna happen without us. And then we're stuck like, oh, like this happened. But was you at the town meeting when they was talking about it? Did you make an effort? Did you have somebody? Were you at work and did you have somebody in the town meeting listening to what was going on? That way you can speak on it later. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's one thing about, like I said, in order to change the narrative, we have to start at the root and we have to go within our community and we have to come together. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes, sir. Let me tell you. And you see, when you just having you on here, you're taking away from the questions. I was gonna get to that. I don't know if you know. So one of the things that what I wanted to talk about was I wanted to talk about, of course, the racism aspect of what we're going through, but also I wanted to talk about, and I'm not leaving off of this just of yet, but you touched on it about us being unified. Like that's another thing, and I want to talk about the support within our communities, us supporting each other as a people. But back to what you were saying about us doing that, like what we have to do to put that plan in action, we do have to come together in order to see this change, though, right? Like as a so one of the things that I really believe that we do have to do, and I'm equally as passionate about, is we do have to come together more. Unity is so important, and I think that people are forgetting that it's power in unity. They'll start standing up back when they start seeing us more unified, right?
Yeah, I do
Tell me,
believe it.
yes, and I don't want to take the interview, so I want you to tell me your thoughts on us being unified and the importance of us being unified more than ever in times like these.
It's power. It's power in numbers. You know,
Yes.
what brings my heart so much joy is to see these people. Like how we always joked about white people being invited to the cookout.
Yes.
You know, when I look at these crowds and it's so many different races and just beautiful people banding together and standing for a cause, that brings my heart so much joy. I love it. I love it. And if they really mean it, I love it even more. Because a lot of
Yes.
people just want to be able to say, "Oh, I stood with you guys when this happened." And then there's people
Right.
out there that really sick of the shit that's going on with our people. That's really sick of
Right.
this shit. And they're like, yo, like I'm standing with you because I really mean this. This is real to me. You
Right.
know?
Right. Right. Right.
So
Yes.
there's power in numbers. And I believe if we stand together, who could really be against us?
Yes.
We showed them.
Yes.
We showed them. If we want to go back and we want to talk about the riots and the looting, like I was saying on IG Live earlier, when people start doing that, even though it wasn't the right thing to do, it wasn't the appropriate thing to do, but when it was done, that's when you want to call for the people that did that that was standing there when that happened to George Floyd. That's when y'all want to get the ball rolling for the people that had something to do in the case of Ahmaud Arbery. That's it took for us to do that. So us sending you
Right.
these petitions and stuff like that, like it's just in one ear and out the other. But when we start
Yeah.
acting up, now
Right.
it's like, oh, we need to do something quick, or
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So just standing together. If we in
Mhm.
our community, if we can all be on the same page, we will win. When it's time to
Yes.
boycott things, we need to boycott it. You know, because
Yes.
the black dollar means a lot in our society, and people don't even know how powerful it really is.
Talk about it,
Yeah,
please. Talk about it. Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes. And I'm not gonna, prolong it because I know that the initial interview started at 8, and we've had to carry things out to this Zoom. But I wanted to also get your thoughts on one of the things that was big to me is that I'm gonna just share my thoughts, and I want to get your view and your opinion on this. So my thing is two things. So one of the things is I see where some of us are saying, Black Lives Matter. And one of the things I was thinking about as I was preparing for this interview, and I think about it quite often, yes, Black Lives Matter. And then we used to hear people need to cut the black on black crimes, And my thing is on this is that if we can't support Black Lives Matter, but then we kill our own people ourselves. Like
yeah.
we can't say it's okay it's wrong if you kill us because you're a Caucasian, Asian, whatever the case is. But I think that as a Black people, we need to stop killing each other. What do you think on that?
I feel strongly on that. I felt
Okay.
strongly on that for years. The
Okay.
crimes within our neighborhoods need to stop. I've been on
Yeah.
that stop the violence. I've been on this black power stuff for years. It didn't just start. Like I was telling you earlier, and I
Yes.
remember at some point I did this rhyme, and in the rhyme I said, "Black lives will never matter until they matter to black people." And oh man, that stopped the room.
Yes.
People was hitting
That's
me
what I'm.
up. Yeah,
Yes.
people was hitting me
Yes.
up like, "Why would you say that? This, that, and the third?" But it's real because until,
Real.
like I said, until we stand together, we standing against each other. So why would we? How do we
How
feel
can
that
we
we're able to fight this war if we're fighting amongst each other? If
each
the
other?
military doesn't have unity, they can't go out and do nothing because they're not gonna have each other's back. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel what you're saying on that.
Yes, and it's like I'm like, wait a minute, let me keep my composure because I'm like, let me not get into it. But I'm so much with you, and I definitely want to get your thoughts. I'm like, what is his view on? I mean, even as we're putting this Black Lives Matter, BLM, the pound thing, but we need to we need to even stop it, and that's why I want this video to get out here because I want as many of us the people to start realizing that we need to stop killing each other, start being more unified within our community, literally being more unified. And this is going to bring it into the other part of what I'm really big and passionate about. Is my last thing I want to talk to you about is the support within the Black community, the support within, okay, you're a recording artist, you're an actor, and you're a Black man. Let's speak about how we need to support each other within our communities. And then I don't know if if you have a business like separate, but you're an entertainer, you have a career. And our goals, like I remember, like you said, you put up your song and you just were looking for basically fan participation. I've seen it. I'm like, let me get in. I support Wavyy. I'm getting in on this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that's
I
because I'm
appreciate that.
absolutely, but it was nothing because it's support within the community. Like we're supposed to support each other. You're an actor, recording artist, and you probably have a plethora of other things that you do. But let's speak about. I noticed that a lot of times, we could be putting our stuff out here in the Black community, and some of them aren't supporting people, whether it's their career, their businesses, and it's other people. They're thriving in business, and we could be even greater, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
We could be even greater if
true,
we start supporting each other.
true.
It's not just financially, but even just you see someone doing something, they're trying to get it out there, support it. Like it's not going to hurt you or take away from your career by
Yeah,
supporting other people within our community, right? And I think
yeah.
we need to stop trying to be the number one person and realize we all can win. We're greater together.
There you
And I
go.
want to yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on this, like just that whole thing I just said.
Me, I feel like I've experienced both sides of the spectrum. I remember being a starving artist trying to come up Not saying I'm not now because I'm still hungry for it. But I remember just not being the dude that played Biggie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
at that time, I was grinding. Like people, I had more. I feel like I had more support then than I have now. But
Hmm.
once I got over a certain hump to where I'm still not all the way there, it's like, oh, he doesn't need us no more. He don't need our support no more. He's doing this. And in our community, we would go shop. We would go buy Gucci. We would buy Louis. We might buy Nikes. We might buy certain clothes that's being made. But our people are trying to do the same things, and it's cool. It's our culture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's cool stuff. That's our culture. This shirt that I'm wearing is my shirt. You know what I'm saying? The throne. See
Oh,
Wavyy Jonez on it. The golden culture. That's our
I,
stuff. You see
yes,
what I'm saying? And within our community, we have to come to a time when it's like it's about us. It's about us.
right,
And we're still
right,
not even granted these opportunities. I'm about to go on some Kanye West type stuff. We're still not even granted these opportunities to stand with Gucci, to stand with Louis, to stand with these people, with these big brands. But yet we have
right,
brands within our own community. If we stood behind them, we're gonna start getting the eyes of certain people. Even with creating, when it comes to doing films and stuff like that, I tell people all the time, if you doing something, you a superstar. You've already made it. You're a superstar
right.
because you have the guts that certain people don't have. I was actually watching your homeboy. He was rapping. Um, he hit me up. I'm gonna follow him today. I forgot his name, but I seen his stuff and I'm like, this dude has superstar potential.
Are you talking about is it King City?
Yeah, him.
Oh, okay,
I was like, this dude
okay,
has superstar potential. You know what I'm saying? But what's it gonna take for him to really believe in himself? It's gonna take for him
uh-huh,
to believe in himself and start walking like that. Start walking like
okay,
he's already selling millions, but still being
yes,
a humble king amongst the people. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because it takes that. We have to know who we are because we have to create our own opportunities. And we have
uh,
to go out and tell our people, yo, listen, I'm over here doing this. Y'all over here buying this. Y'all will get the next Justin Bieber CD. What about a Wavyy Jonez? What about a King City CD? You know what I'm saying?
exactly,
What
yes,
about that? But it's
exactly,
like, and I'm not hating on anybody because I would love to meet and do music with Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But what I'm saying
right,
is, in order for us to band together to really be effective within our community, we have to support what's in our community. Our food,
yeah,
our clothes, our music, our films. We have to band
agree.
together and help each other. And that's how we're going to ultimately win and stand together as a strong black community.
You know, I mean, listen, this is what it's about right here. This is what needs to be heard. It needs to be put out. And I want to spread that message right here. This is the message that I want to spread. Everything that we spoke about. You know, I didn't want to get you on here and waste your time. I wanted you to talk about things that will be that we can put into action to be effective in changing our world. And you being a public figure speaking about this, maybe people will pay attention and maybe we can start joining together more. You know, we can basically end this racism, and I said it, end this racism, us joining together as a people, being more unified, being more stronger together, no longer
Mhm.
divided. We could bring a change in our world. It's like we don't realize our own power is another thing I think, because I'm telling you, if we can end this black on black crime, become more unified, I'm telling you, we're going to shift up some things and we're going to be more richer and more
Go ahead,
powerful. Am I
Lala.
right?
Talk it. Say it. I'm listening.
Yes, and that's what
Yeah.
I want us to do. I want us to bring this change. And so I can't thank you, like, for just being the first guest, even from reaching out. And like I said, you're the most humble. And this is the thing, talented. You're not just on TV because you lucked up. You are extremely talented. You
Thank
are
you.
extremely wise. You're intelligent. Great energy, great spirit. I've told you this in private conversations over the phone. Whenever you come to LA, when I'm in town, I've always told you. And you know, I just think you're brilliant, and it's just only going to get greater with you.
Thank
And I
you.
just appreciate you so much. And I swear, just the world hearing you speak on these things, because again, you would just put these on your Instagram story. I felt like things that you were saying needed to be out here. I hope that I done this interview justice with everything you were saying, and I can't wait to release it to the people. so that again, it can bring about the change that we need. And of course, this is just gonna start it. Like, what did Tupac say? He said this is it's his birthday. One of the things he said, I may not. He said I would. What did he say? The thing where he would start the. Everybody
I
tells me
may
I
not
always.
change the world, but I will
Yes,
guarantee to spark the brain of the person that will.
yes, there we go. Exactly. And it's like, look, that was 20 something years ago. The things that you're saying right now, that's what's happening. It's
Yeah,
us coming together, and it's sparking the brains that will join in with us because we have time. I don't foresee us leaving anytime soon. I think there's power in our words. And so we got to speak life over ourselves. And so we're going to be that change. We're going to bring that change. And so thank you so much,
absolutely.
Wavyy. I
Thank you for
appreciate.
having me.
Absolutely. And I cannot wait to, do this again with you, sitting down
For
about this.
sure, for sure. We sure will in the future. We sure will.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Okay, and you have, and no, is there anything that you're working on that you want the people to know about? Is there anything that you want to speak on before?
I'm working on new music, new Wavyy Jonez music. It's always a vibe, tropical popper type stuff. Um,
Yes.
we doing the Do the Right Thing um, campaign when
Okay.
COVID concludes, to where God willing, if there's still breath in my body, we'll be out here and we'll be talking to the people. One thing I always do, and I tell people all the time, is to remain teachable in everything. Even though I say what I say now, somebody may tell me something tomorrow to elevate my brain to where I'm like, okay, I understand. I remain teachable at all times. So to Do the Right Thing campaign, matter of fact, I would love to have you come to a few dates when we start that up and just speak. Um, doing, of course, doing more films and stuff like that. We're creating. We're staying creative in everything that's happening out here. We're still staying creative. We're still moving. We're still doing music videos, our own short films, and that's what it's gonna take at the end of the day. And we
Yes.
um we would like for everybody to support us, support everything. Um, I don't you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this is for us. So that's what it's about at the end of the day. Support all our people that's out there doing something because there's power in numbers, like we already said. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And your Instagram handle, Twitter handle, what are those?
I am Wavyy Jonez. It's IMWAVYYJONEZ. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And you can hit me up on my Facebook page, WAVYYJONEZ.
I got to get you on Facebook. I definitely do. I got
For
you on
sure.
everything else on Facebook. Again, thank you so, so, so,
Absolutely.
so much for being on with me. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to do it again. And you have a blessed and phenomenal night, and stay well during this COVID, as I pray you will.
Absolutely. You as well.
You. Talk to you soon.